So a friend saw my post yesterday on social media talking about telling people, be careful when you invest next. Be careful of the choices you take when the market is a bull market around you, because you'll pay for each of those choices or gain from them. Specifically when the market changes. And the fact is that the market will always change. You will never have a market that's a bull market forever. It's important to understand that it's not a matter of if the market drops or if the market goes into a recession or a crisis, or it's when will it, because it will. So the question that I had was, I want to buy a property to live in Springs or Arabian Ranches. Those are two villa communities in Dubai. And shall I do it now or shall I wait for some time? And my answer is simple. If you're buying the right property, and now we'll talk about what's the right property briefly. If you're buying the right property for the right reasons, and you're paying for it the right way. So my question was, are you getting a 25 years mortgage? And the answer was, yes, I am. Or actually 24 years, because she said I'm 41, so 24 years. So if you're doing that, there's very little possibility that you go wrong. Doesn't matter if the property prices went down or up, because it will always do. Now, will it go up in a year, in a month, in 6 months, in 2 years? Nobody knows. So why would you wait trying to follow a mirage of something that's coming while it doesn't come? And then you either are moving by the fear of missing out, or you're moving by the need to move because, oh, I waited for a year, nothing happened, let me go ahead and do that purchase, maybe at a higher price sometimes. If you're buying the right property and you're buying it and paying for it over the right term, and you're not getting a ridiculous price, so don't understand me wrong here, you're not overpaying for a property or paying more than the market price. But in general, unless you are caught by the peaks, which are very brief times, guys, you need to be so good to be able to catch the peak, okay? And I don't believe anyone does, because whoever catches the peak catches the drop or understands the drop. So you need to have that much coincidence, but it shows in general. So unless you're catching the peak, which is very rare, it's every few years once, and that once would be probably for a month or few months max, you're okay. So go ahead and do that property purchase you want, because the best time you can do is today, to benefit from compounding and the impact of compounding on your wealth creation. And compounding is very important because you will feel the velocity of money. You will get to the cycle of infinite returns, rather than being that person who waits for a year and then 2, and then it becomes 10. And may purchase or not at that time, but he lost all of these possibilities, or all of those possibilities of cash flow. So what's the right property? In general, a right property is a unique, I would call it unrivaled, either by location or by offering or by several elements together. It needs to be unique. If you buy a property that there's thousands of properties similar to, unless you're in a market where there is a very big gap between supply and demand, where supply is never meeting demand, like probably central London market maybe. Unless you are that place, you need a uniqueness element, so that when the market turns, because as we said, it's not a matter of if, it's when the market turns, you'll still be all right. You'll still be cash flowing. Your biggest USP at that time is not the price, so you need to drop the price significantly just to get things moving. No. You're renting, people like the property, they like the location, it's unique, there's no hundreds of thousands of competitors around the block, and you're doing well. Second, are you buying a property that is sustainable or can sustain that value offering today? So are you buying a property that may change very fast in its utility or in its uniqueness or in the elements that surround it, or no? Are you buying a property that seems to be better or the same for tomorrow? 3, is there a value add that you can put on or that the market will put on? So give you an example, value add that you can put on. You bought a property, it simply needed some improvement, you improved it, you've added value, you fixed the kitchen, you improved the bathrooms, and those add value, and all of a sudden you have a property that's worth more or more appealing to people. Or did you have a property that you're buying, it's between 10-15 buildings that are under construction, and all of a sudden, actually after years of construction, not all of a sudden, those buildings are ready and a mall opens, and now your property does have more value. So those 3 elements are very important. If you're buying property today, or if you're planning to, or if you're thinking of, wherever you are in the world, as long as you're doing the right, you're purchasing the right property, paying for it in the right way, so getting the right mortgage, in other words, you're okay. Now, yes, you'd be better off if the market drops tomorrow by 20% and you purchase minus 20%. I'm definitely sure that you'll be better off. But is that something that you can aim for or target? I don't believe so. Otherwise, all of the funds with the hundreds of and thousands of analysts would not purchase property or any other asset until the market crashes, because then it makes more sense. Buy property the right way, cash flow. Okay, don't buy it just because it will go up in value, as per what happened with your friend. Purchase property for the right reasons, and you'll be fine. Ciao.